Gameplay Nation reisde af naar het PSV-stadion in Eindhoven en sprak daar met Miles Jacobsen, de studio-director van Sports Interactive. Hij gaf daar tekst en uitleg over Football Manager 12.
With Football Manager 2012, we have over 800 new features. So it's very difficult to stand here and say which is the biggest new feature. We've tried to have something for everyone. So for the real hardcore players, there's the ability to add and remove leagues during your career, and it will simulate the league up to the point where you decide to start it. For the brand new users, there's tutorials to help them play the game for the first time. For people who like doing contracts a lot, contracts and transfer changes, you have new contract locks. There's a new way to search for players as well, which is a lot more intuitive. Even the user interface, it's more like a web browser now, so it's a lot easier for people to use to pick up and play. With tactics, if you love doing tactics, your team can now learn up to 3 tactics at any one time, and you can set them to be separate home tactics and away tactics. We provide a competition editor with the game, which allows you to add competitions and teams and players, or edit any of the data that's inside the game. You can even edit how attractive a city would be for someone coming from outside the city to move over there. So really the possibilities are endless. You can create your own competitions, you could add extra levels in Holland or Belgium or anywhere else in the world, or create a completely fictional team and add them to the leagues. We're big fans of social networking at SI. We've always had lots of presence online, whether that be our forums or Facebook or MySpace back in the day when MySpace is still popular, or Twitter. I talk to hundreds of people every day via Twitter who play our games, which is a great thing to be able to do. We added some functionality inside the game last year to allow you to upload goals to YouTube, and also to allow you to tweet about things inside the game, certain news items. This year we've expanded that, so we've added Facebook to the social networking family that we have inside the game, and you can send the same stuff that you could send to Twitter to Facebook, but you can also send match reports to Facebook as well, direct to your wall. And with the match engine, you can actually make your own highlights packages now and decide which camera angles to use before uploading them to YouTube. Or you can also just save them as video packages on your PC, and then you can use any movie player to watch those afterwards. So for any social network, you could upload those, but it's direct upload from the game to YouTube. So with Football Manager 2012, we had lots of set goals which we've achieved of what we wanted to do with the game. With FM13, we already know what we want to do with the game for next year. For FM14, we already have some of the key features that we want to do as well. So we work in 3-year development cycles now when it comes to designing the game and what we want to do. So I think we've been making games now for 19 years, and every game has always been a step up. This year is one of the biggest steps we've had. And that's certainly how we want to continue with the series. So 19 years down, and hopefully we'll be here for another 19 as well. The reason that we plan things in the long term is mainly a time issue. Sometimes the features will take longer than a year. For example, the Add Remove League feature, we started working on that about 2.5 years ago. But there are also other things that we need to do other things before we can do certain features. So we plan in the long term, because we're still quite a small team at SI, and we intend to stay quite a small team because it's just the best way for us to develop games, to ensure that everyone's really passionate. So that's why we plan for the long term. If we just planned for 1 year, then we'd need to take on 200 people, and we'd need to get them to do everything that 1 year, and then what are we going to do the year after? So we plan for the long term rather than the short term. We have advertising hoardings around the side of the pitch which you can actually click on inside the game. And where we have official partners with leagues, then our adverts will be there. When we don't, we tend to give those ad hoardings to charities. We already make a donation for every game that gets sold to the War Child charity, which is, of course, it's very close to a lot of our hearts, because no child should be affected by war. It's not their decision to go to war, so why should they have to suffer? And what was interesting with the War Child stuff is apparently more people go to War Child's website from clicking on the ad hoardings in Football Manager than do from Google searches. So thank you to everyone out there who does click on those hoardings and does go and learn more about the charities, and please do get involved. So we've tried to add something for everyone for the game, and you know, the best way to try it out is to go and download the demo, which is available now, and see if you like it.
Welcome to the greatest job on earth.